Welcome everybody to another episode of Attorney Reacts. My name is Nefi Lopez with the Law of Esports, here to react to another video for you guys today. The name of this video is Driver Blows 0.00%. Officer Still Locks Him Up by Lackluster. Let's check it out.
Just after midnight, on the 28th of August, Lieutenant Nathan Winters of the Newton Police Department noticed a vehicle driving with its high beams on, and according to the Massachusetts Driver's Manual and state statutes, you must lower your high beam headlights to low beam when you are within 500 feet of an oncoming vehicle.
So they pulled him over because his high beams were on, but they were doing a field sobriety test, so we'll see how that evolves. I always appreciate those exciting little summaries or previews that they give us.
The operator did not lower the vehicle's high beams, which prompted the LT to initiate a traffic stop.
Hi there. How you doing, sir? Good, how are you? Good. My name's Officer Winters with the Newton Police Department. The reason I pulled you over is because you have your bright lights on.
Yeah, I have a headlight out, so I just keep my brights on.
Okay, well that's not legal.
Oh, it isn't?
No.
Yeah, I turn when a car comes by, I turn them off, but like.
Well, you didn't with me.
Oh, you weren't close enough though. You were like you were a while. Yeah, you were a while back.
Has to be within 500 feet.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
And you're not supposed to have your brights on in the city limits.
My fault. My fault.
You got your license, registration, insurance with you?
Yeah, I got you. I just thought it'd be better to have them on with the headlight off. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so far, not bad. If you guys ever get pulled over, one thing that I always do is I always turn on my dash lights, and I'm not so quick to reach into the glove compartment or to reach into it. This guy is clearly young, but you guys got to remember with today's day and age, cops tend to be a little jittery, so you want to be careful whenever you're interacting with them. So this guy's kind of, quickly reaching into his glove compartment, which, I don't think this guy knows he's in any danger or doesn't think he's in any danger, but just keep that in mind.
Is this your car?
Yeah.
Okay. Where are you headed?
Back home.
Where's home?
You guys got to realize whenever they're asking those questions, where you headed, where you coming from, what were you doing, he's not just trying to make small talk. It sounds like he's trying to make small talk, but really he's conducting an investigation. So make sure you guys realize that whenever cops are asking you these questions, they care for purposes of potentially charging you with something. So keep that in mind.
I just noticed you have Adair County plates.
Yeah, I got it from my grandpa.
Okay.
His car.
All right.
These seemingly innocent answers to insignificant questions are creating a narrative for the officer to arrest Taven, in which he was with friends, drinking or using illegal substances, and subsequently driving, which is why it is best to refrain from answering questions from law enforcement officers. When asked if he was drinking, Taven answers, "Nope," but Lieutenant Winters claims he didn't hear what he said. But as you'll soon realize, it doesn't matter. Lieutenant Winters is already looking for a reason to charge Taven. He provides Lieutenant Winters with the requested documents, and after a few minutes, he asks Taven to remove the gum from his mouth and to enter his cruiser.
Do me a favor, put your gum on your dash there.
The reason why they do that is because sometimes people try to mask the alcohol odor in their mouth using gum, mouthwash, other things, so that way it doesn't affect officers' ability to smell that alcohol on his breath. You guys got to realize you might think you're slick if you've been drinking and driving, but police officers are trained to look for that stuff.
You don't have anything on you? No bombs, guns, drugs?
No bombs or no drugs.
Okay, let's go back here.
This guy just asked him if he has any bombs. Really? That's kind of a random question. I mean, I get it, but that's kind of random.
Where are you coming from?
Back by, his name is Creighton, his friend's house.
Okay. What are you doing at Creighton's house?
We were just hanging out. Just got back from college.
Okay.
Go to William Penn.
Okay. You play football up there?
Yes, sir.
What position do you play?
Wide receiver.
Okay.
I didn't make travel squad this year though, so I'm back for the weekend.
That's why you're home?
Yep.
How much have you had to drink tonight?
None.
What do you mean none?
I've had nothing to drink.
Okay. Why would your eyes be watery and bloodshot?
Do you want to blow me real quick?
I don't want to blow you.
Pause. I got contacts.
Okay.
But we can do the little thing.
We'll probably get there. So your movements in the car with you fumbling over the registration?
Yep.
Kind of say otherwise.
All right.
And so does the odor of alcohol coming from your person.
Great. Let's do a test and
We'll get to the test.
I can't wait. So what happens if, nothing pops up? Do you get in trouble?
No? Why would I get in trouble?
Because you think I'm drinking, but I'm not drinking.
I'm not gonna get in trouble for doing what I'm supposed to do.
Can I record it?
Yeah, absolutely.
What's your name?
My name's Officer Winters.
So Officer Winters thinks I'm drinking tonight. We're about to do a test, and he's going to find out I had nothing to drink. He's going to look stupid.
This guy pulls out a phone and says, "Can I record this?" He pulls up his phone, and I think he's on Snapchat, and he's sort of antagonizing the police officer, which is not a good idea, especially whenever he thinks that he's been drinking. From the interaction that you saw, the guys claim that he was fumbling over the registration papers, which, as this video did a good job showing the replay, he wasn't fumbling. anything. He said that his eyes looked like they were bloodshot and glassy, meaning watery. It's just not true. He's reaching to see what he can put on this guy. And he's, again, asking him all these questions, trying to talk to him. And obviously the kid hasn't been drinking. That's why he's so confident. But, his confidence is turning into arrogance, which if you get a cop at a bad time or having a bad day, you're going to feel the wrath. And I think that's what this kid, unfortunately, looks like he's going to be experiencing. So let's see.
After questioning Taven for a short period, he agrees to perform field sobriety tests.
You guys have to realize field sobriety tests are designed for people to fail. Whether you're drunk, whether you're sober, as this kid is sober, and he's athletic. He appears to be, I think he said he was a wide receiver for college in the area. They're hard tests to pass. And so, I'm sure the video will talk about it in a little bit, but you guys can always respectfully reject the field sobriety test. And as a matter of fact, anytime I have somebody ask me, hey, what should I do in this situation? I always tell them, respectfully reject field sobriety tests. You're only creating evidence against yourself. These are some of the big ones right here, what we call the HGN, the walk and turn, the one leg stand.
These tests are subjective in nature, and if an officer has already made up their mind that you are intoxicated, they will be looking for specific clues to defend their
Absolutely.
claim. Anything you do can result in a failure. Inadequate lighting, uneven ground, or even adrenaline spikes that often coincide with...
Yeah, and you can tell this kid's nervous from the very beginning. I mean, I don't blame him. Anybody that gets pulled over, you sort of get a rush. You see, you could tell this kid is gunning to go and take the field sobriety test. In his head, he's like, oh, I'm going to pass this with flying colors. Not knowing that field sobriety tests are actually pretty hard.
Do you have any head injuries or anything? Oh, okay.
Also, for those of you guys wondering, the reason why he asked about head injuries is if you get involved in an accident and somebody's injured, oftentimes if the accident is severe enough, police officers will conduct a field sobriety test on the drivers, even if they're not intoxicated. And so head injuries, if you've hit your head or have some type of head injury, then obviously that affects your balance, it affects your speech, it affects you in more ways than you think. And so that's why they asked that question. I'm sure you're probably saying, well, why would he ask that? That's why.
For the first test, Lieutenant Winters uses a high-powered flashlight to conduct the horizontal gaze nystagmus test.
How many more we got?
No, this test is about 2 minutes long.
After shining a flashlight into Taven's eyes for nearly 2 minutes, Taven shows no signs of impairment, and they move on to the walk and turn.
He's also saying that his eyes were bloodshot and glassy. They don't look bloodshot and glassy. I don't know what this guy's talking about.
Touching heel to toe each time, keeping your arms down to your side, okay? Turn and take 9 heel to toe steps back.
You turn back around?
2, 3, just like I did. You're gonna walk.
After 9 steps?
You're gonna take a series of small steps.
You see how he's trying to ask for clarification and he's not really giving him clarification. He's continuing to speak and continuing to give instruction. The reason why they do that is because failing to properly follow instructions on these field sobriety tests is also a sign of impairment. Police officer, he's already decided in his mind that this kid is drunk. So no matter what he does, chances are he's probably not going to pass. Or maybe not drunk, but intoxicated in some way, whether it's weed, drugs, something.
Just a little bit, but I'll be able to do this.
Okay, does it hurt right now?
You see, again, he's real confident he's going to pass this.
All right, if you don't have any questions, you may begin.
So you want to get to 9?
Without an acknowledgement from the officer, Taven completes the test but takes 13 steps and fails to count out loud. Despite the quick, confusing instructions, Taven showed no signs of being impaired otherwise, but still fails
quick and confusing
the
intentionally, by the way.
Come on, man, it's too easy.
This kid thinks he's doing such a good job, not
breath
realizing that
2 for
failing
2.
to follow instructions is a sign of impairment.
Sir, I don't believe you are 2 for 2. How many steps did I say to take?
Like 8 or 9?
I said 9. Why'd you take 14 and then 15?
I thought you were going to tell me when to turn.
I said to count your steps out loud.
Oh, my fault.
So the next test is I want you to stand with your heels and toes together. Stand right here in this flat part.
This cop's already decided this kid's...
I want you to stand with your heels and toes together with your arms down to your side.
This is your first year?
No.
Is this your first year? Is that what he said?
Officer Winters has been with the
Man, this
department for
kid's,
just
you
over
know,
3
he seems like a good
years.
kid.
It is likely
His
that
arrogance, though, I
coworkers
think
have
it's...
boots with more time in service, but it's important to know that he is
his
administering
arrogance is
the
getting in the way.
tests properly as they were designed.
It's probably not helping.
Which is why you should know your local laws, and if field sobriety tests are not required, refuse to take them.
When I say begin, I want
How many false accusations you got?
0.
It's about to be your first.
We'll see.
You see, again, the kid is antagonizing the cop. But, again, the cop has all the power in this situation. You guys have to understand, you have rights, but the police officer in these situations have all the power.
What I want you to do,
He knows it too. He knows I'm about to pass this shit.
what I want you to do when I say begin is raise either your left or your right foot.
I've had so many
whichever one you
people
want.
get arrested
Raise
even
it
though they
approximately
blew a
6 inches off the ground, keep it parallel
0.00.
to the ground, okay? All right, during this, keep your
Why?
arms down
Because they
your
took a
side. Why
field
are you shaking
sobriety
so much?
test.
It's freezing, man. Look at you. You got all these clothes on, and I got shorts on and it's raining. And you false accusing me, so of course I'm going to be a little nervous.
That makes sense.
Yeah, you got nothing to say. Exactly.
questions?
Look, you in pants. I'm in shorts and it's raining now.
I wear shorts when it's 30 below.
Congratulations.
He says he wears shorts whenever it's 30 below. Why would he say that? I think the police officer stooping down to the level of a teenager. You know, he's arguing with him, and I don't know if he's trying to look cool, he's trying to show off. It's kind of weird.
The officer administers the one-leg stand, which he performs perfectly, and conducts the horizontal gaze nystagmus a second time, also showing no signs of impairment. The officers then...
I mean, look at his eyes. They're not bloodshot. They're not glassy. Everything looks pretty normal. I don't understand why the police officer is saying that his eyes were glassy and bloodshot.
Have Taven count backwards with his eyes closed and head tilted back, with his eyes collecting raindrops.
Couple more tests here, okay? I want you to stand with your heels and toes together with your arms down your side. When I say begin, I want you to estimate the passing of 30 seconds. Close your eyes and tilt your head back, okay?
Estimate the packs in 30 seconds?
Yes, sir.
Can I count out loud? Eyes closed and head tilted back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay?
My editing software shows the exact amount of time that has passed between where Officer Winter says okay, starting the test, and when Taven completes the test. Taven calls out the 30th second, almost dead on at 30 1/10 of a second.
That's
without
impressive.
swaying or losing his balance. Officer Winters scores him at a 38 later in the video.
30.
What'd you count to?
30.
How'd you count there?
Just stayed in my head.
1, 2, 3, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi.
One Mississippi in my head.
Okay. All right, one more test here.
Wait, hold up. Am I able to get this video?
If you want to subpoena it.
What?
If you want to subpoena it.
So will it be easy to do that?
If you have an attorney, you can get it, yeah.
Body cam.
You need an attorney to subpoena records. You don't need an attorney to request these body cam videos. There's FOIA, which other lawyers on this channel have talked about. I know I've talked about it in my last video. Freedom of Information Act allows you to request body cam footage, dash cam footage, 9/11 transcripts. Every state is different, but generally, this type of information is available to the public if you request it with the right information provided on the request.
But now, because Taven has outperformed just about all persons on Earth, save for a couple extra steps during the walk-in turn, Officer Winters now conducts a 5th test to try to pin something on Taven. After the 5th test, they finally have Taven submit a chemical test with a portable breathalyzer test.
Okay, you can relax. Because you're showing some very strong signs of impairment.
Am I?
You were a little bit on the fury side with the paperwork. You were not consistent. You're not smooth.
He's saying not smooth. You just got pulled over. The kid's probably a little stressed. You know, you don't probably deal with the police officers pretty regularly, but they're saying that you were fumbling around with papers. That is proof of intoxication or impairment. It's so ridiculous. I cannot believe it.
All right, what I want you to
So
do is
ridiculous.
make a tight seal around this and blow outwards like you're blowing up a balloon, okay?
Cool.
All right.
You ready?
Yep. Okay, you can relax.
Taven blows all zeros, but the officer decides to arrest him anyway.
So I'm gonna read to Miranda, okay? Right now you have the right to...
You see, he blew 0. I think he just wanted to confirm, and he still arrested him, which is wild. You know, the kid seems to be doing pretty good. Like, if you're high, you know, on marijuana or any other drug, it does slow you down, and it does cause for you to have certain issues, but it's very obvious, at least to me, that this kid is not intoxicated either by some. This is purely an ego thing. You know, the guy decided early on he was going to arrest him. He was going to do it regardless of what happened, regardless of what he said, he was going to arrest him. And that's why some of you guys, even if you think, oh, maybe I'm not that drunk, you got to be careful.
Remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you before any question, okay? Is there...
You see, this kid is under the impression that because he blows a 000, it means that he is not driving while intoxicated or under the influence. You guys have to realize that just because you blow a 000 doesn't mean you're not under the influence. There's people, like if you smoke and you're high, you're going to blow a 000 on some of these tests, or maybe all. I don't know what tech is like these days, but generally speaking, you know, the breathalyzer's for alcohol.
When's the last time we smoked weed?
I do not remember that.
Tonight? Oh.
And that's a bad answer, by the way. When's the last time you smoked weed? And the answer is, and he thought about it too. I get it. He's probably trying to be honest. I don't remember that. You know, just come on, man. Think on your feet a little bit. Say, I don't smoke weed.
No weed tonight, I think it's tonight.
I have had no weed tonight. What? Why do you think it's tonight? Why do you think I smoke? I blew 0, so now you're trying to think I smoke weed. That's what's going on. You can't do that, man. You really can't do that.
Absolutely, I can.
Technically, he can do that. Again, he cleared himself of any evidence that he was intoxicated with alcohol. And so now really his only other thing is either weed or other drug. And now he's saying, yeah, you know what? Actually, I think you've been smoking weed, which is ridiculous.
I'm being honest.
You smoked some weed at your friend's house?
No.
You hit a pin?
Nope.
Okay. Why'd your field sobriety?
I mean, his reactions are on point. His movement is normal. It's as you would to any sober person. I do not understand why this police officer thinks that this kid's been smoking weed. And if somebody's been smoking weed, it's pretty obvious.
What? Why is your field sobriety so poor? And why are you so lethargic and slow moving and speaking with a slurred speech? And your eyes are watery and your eyes are bloodshot.
You know why they're watery? Right, because we're in rain right now, dumbass.
Oh, he just called the officer don't cuss at police officers in a situation where you probably want to bring down the tension. Again, it's totally within your right. Just, it doesn't help.
It doesn't affect them in the car or in my car.
Well, I don't know what you're seeing because I can't see my eyes.
That's fair. You can't see your own eyes. And then also, the question, why did you do so poorly on your field sobriety test? Again, it's all his opinion.
Weed. I play college football. I told you that. We get tested every Friday. Okay. Don't smoke weed.
Yeah, this kid's not going to lose a scholarship over some weed.
Okay, it's 30 days.
I played college football, and there's no shot that we would ever ruin our scholarship over a little bit of weed or getting pulled over for drinking and driving. It's just as silly. So this kid, I believe him. I hear him, and I can look at him. He is clearly not intoxicated.
For 30 days. So if I did a test next week, I'd be off the football team. Dumbass. Come on.
There he's doing it again.
I want that video too.
Okay, but I think you're impaired. I think you're under the influence.
You think I'm impaired?
Yes.
If he thinks he's impaired, why doesn't he just arrest him and take him downtown? Why does he have to continue to have this interaction and these conversations? Again, it doesn't make any sense.
Well, I'm not.
Okay. You want to talk to another officer?
Hell yeah, get him over here.
If I was in the other police officer's shoes, and you see that another officer is doing something that they shouldn't be doing, I would step in and say, hey, dude, I don't think this kid's impaired.
Recognition evaluation or drug influence evaluation?
What's that?
There's an officer who checks your blood pressure, does a whole bunch of tests.
Yeah, let's do it.
You don't have to stand in the rain for that either.
I don't have to?
You don't stand in the rain for that, no.
It's unclear whether this text message has anything to do with the stop, but
I've never want to throat punch someone so hard in my life. That's crazy. Is this from the other officer? Oh my God. I'm telling you, this is a pure ego thing. This is wild. And the fact that this is on the body cam, come on, man.
has been sent by Officer Shinkles, the drug recognition expert who happened to be off duty at the time, and allegedly had to be
so it's
called
somebody
into
else.
work to complete this investigation. On another side note, we have also found documents that appear to suggest that Officer Nathan Winters was convicted of domestic abuse just 1 year prior to this incident.
Yeah, it looks like the police officers, his friends in the force really aren't the best of friends. This happens all the time, unfortunately. You have officers that are quick to violence, even in their own personal lives. Those people should not be officers. This guy, I don't know. I don't have any evidence that he may be a violent person, but clearly he's got a pretty big ego.
Sir, why am I still here? Honestly.
Because he believes you're under the influence. And
You notice how he said he believes you're under the influence, and he didn't say we believe you're under the influence? The guy's sticking out. He's washing his hands. He's saying, you know what? He believes you're intoxicated, or he believes you're under the influence.
Why is this allowed?
because if he believes you're under the influence, that's his specialty. That's what
Well, he thought I was drunk and I wasn't drunk.
Taven makes a great point there. If you recall, Officer Winter claims he can smell alcohol.
Exactly.
Your movements in the car with you fumbling over the registration.
Yep.
Again, he's not fumbling over the registration.
He says he'll do an evaluation, but he's kind of a smart ass. All right.
That I agree with. The kid he is that.
That's what we'll do then.
Taven is now placed under arrest and transported to the local police station.
He's not good though.
No.
Having a hard time breathing.
You sounds like you're breathing just fine.
I literally can't breathe through my nose right now.
Through your nose?
Yeah.
You see, again, this is purely a power trip. Can I use my inhaler? And he's already done the breathalyzer test. So why can't you let him use, an inhaler? I don't know. There may be something there, but that doesn't make any sense. This guy's just being a jerk. You sound like you're breathing just fine to me.
After being read his rights, the drug recognition expert finally arrives on scene and conducts a more thorough test with Taven, indoors.
You guys saw it. His eyes seem pretty clear. Whether watery, he said something about dogs taking his contacts out. They're not. Whenever somebody's drunk, their eyes are bloodshot and they're glassy. This kid just doesn't seem that way.
One of the most interesting parts was the test that needed to be done in complete darkness, so the officer brought Taven into the bathroom.
Alright, so while we're in the dark, I've got my fancy blue pen light, okay? I want you to just put your hands on your lap. I'm just gonna check your hands out, okay? Yep. Any glow-in-the-dark tattoos? No.
Finally, after nearly an hour of more testing, the drug recognition expert clears Taven, finding no evidence of intoxication, and before he left, Taven asks to speak with Officer Winters.
This kid gets cleared and still asks to speak with the officer. Man, the cojones on this kid. It's funny, right? Because, you know, I don't know if most people would do what this kid is doing. You know, he's young. He's been cleared. Most people would just say, you know what, I'm glad to be out of this situation. I'm going home. That wasn't enough for him. He has to speak to this guy. He's a big dude, too. He's kind of intimidating.
Hey, buddy, what's going on?
So, I just want to know, like, how does it feel?
That is so, I mean, come on, dude. Like, he was already arrogant from the start. I mean, it's funny. It's funny to see. It's great that it didn't get worse. You know, I'm happy that it ended up this way. But, I mean, at this point, this kid's just, you know, whenever you have a dog that does something you shouldn't do, you kind of rub their face on it. Don't encourage you to do that, by the way. But that's what he's doing here in this situation.
How does it feel for what?
Remember I told you when you first pulled me over?
I had nothing to drink. He's gonna look stupid.
You're like, you're impaired. You're on drugs. You drink alcohol. Turns out I'm not on any of that.
Okay.
Really dumb decision by you today. I'm really disappointed.
I'm sure getting lectured by a teenager was not on his schedule. Late evening or early morning.
You can't bite your drug
I
test.
based my decision on your field sobriety tests.
Was it really failed though? It was pouring outside. It was terrible cement.
That's a good point.
Okay, but like I
Uneven
slept
ground.
right away. I do
But
everything.
there's also
probably cold.
steps that I have to go through.
Did you really thought I was drunk?
The way I first spoke with you and your movements, I believe something was off.
That's crazy, man.
Something was
So
off.
this your first false accusation?
No,
You said it was.
I've been wrong many times.
Oh, earlier, whenever he asked him if he's had any false accusations, he said no, that he's never had any false accusation. And the kid said, "Oh, well, this is your first one." It's funny. It's a teenager telling this officer, "You can't be doing this." It's just there's something. I don't know if it's ironic, but you know, teenagers are typically making bad decisions, and just getting lectured by a kid just sounds like not a good time for the officer.
Okay.
I want you to do a better job than that.
Okay.
Okay? As I'm a citizen here, I love doing cops. You're probably a good guy, right? You're probably a great
Try to
guy.
be.
And I'm a good guy. I don't have any record, and you do that to me. Like, there's other guys probably out in Newton right now, breaking the law, actually breaking the law. Like, not
I'm
over.
not saying there's not.
And you waste your time with me, and there could be, someone's mom could be getting killed.
That's
right
true.
now. You don't know. But you got.
You could be out there chasing real criminals. Instead, you're bullying a kid.
When I offered you the drug recognition influence evaluation, you said no. So I had to go off of what I had on field sobriety.
Okay. But we just gotta do better than that, man.
You got to do better than that,
We just
man.
gotta do better than that.
Level of consciousness present. I love these little additions by Lackluster. It's funny.
I guess I'm sorry.
I don't remember. I think somebody told me this kid may have filed a lawsuit and it's still pending. It sucks that he was in this situation. Yeah, it was, I think, a wrongful arrest, and I think, you know, eventually he was let go. It sucks. This is exactly why you should respectfully reject field sobriety test and not talk to the police. I feel like we say this every single video and people are still out there talking to the police. Be smart, make good choices, and feel free to watch any of these other videos on our channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. Feel free to follow us on all social media, Attorney Reacts, and my channel, The Law of Esports, where we talk about esports and lots of other fun stuff. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see y'all on the next one.
Big verdict.